It was a war, said Israel, to dismantle Hamas's infrastructure. It was not a war against the people of Gaza. This was a line repeated by Prime Minister Olmert when he announced a unilateral ceasefire. By then, nearly 1,400 Palestinians had been killed. But now a different picture is emerging. An Israeli newspaper has published accounts of soldiers involved in the operation. They say killing Palestinian civilians and destroying their homes was allowed in Israel's rules of engagement during the war. An infantry leader describes how a Palestinian mother and her 2 children were killed. He said the platoon commander let the family go and told them to go to the right. One mother and her 2 children didn't understand and they went to the left, but they forgot to tell the sharpshooter on the roof. He went on to say, the sharpshooter saw a woman and children approaching him, closer than the lines he was told no one should pass. He shot them straight away. He killed them. Not simply a case of negligence, but a wider systematic policy by the military, according to those investigating soldiers' behavior.
We're not talking here about just another very aggressive mission. We're talking about here about just a different category of aggression, which hasn't been around at all during the Second Intifada, even in the most aggressive parts of it.
In a very similar story, Al Jazeera's Gaza correspondent Ayman Mohideen, who was inside Gaza during the war, investigated claims that civilians waving white flags were also killed.
She distributed white flags and led them out. She walked at the front carrying a white flag, followed by other women carrying their children.
When we reached the top of the road, the special forces that were positioned in a house right opposite to us, they took us by surprise.
But despite the presence of children and the display of white flags, the military opened fire.
Another part of the testimony revealed a squad leader was shocked by the conduct of Israeli forces. To write death to the Arabs on the walls, to take family pictures and spit on them just because you can. To understand how much the IDF has fallen in the realm of ethics, really, it's what I'll remember the most. As one of Al Jazeera's correspondents there during the war, I witnessed firsthand this type of vandalism. And in the case of this house, they left them notes on the walls. So here you can see it says, Hamas bad, Israeli Defense Force good. And just below it, it says IDF or Israeli Defense Force, we're here. While many insist an independent investigation is what's needed, for now the Israeli army say they'll look into the soldiers' testimonies themselves.
We have decided to open an investigation, a thorough investigation, to check these matters. It's important for me to say that the IDF policy is to save lives on both sides of the border.
It's been 2 months since the war on Gaza ended. The physical and emotional destruction of a people and a territory still evident on every corner. The soldiers' testimonies may back up the stories we were hearing throughout the war, but the question is whether they'll bring the people of Gaza any closer to the justice that has so far evaded them. Shireen Tadros, Al Jazeera, Jerusalem.